Let's talk about partnership programs. A lot of companies have them, but what does it actually mean and what do they do? In today's podcast, we will answer that question as it relates to Esker, along with other questions, like what does it mean when a customer gets connected with a partner? Why might a customer want to work with an Esker partner? And what does it actually take for a company to even become an official partner of Esker? I'm Scott Leahy, and this is Esker On Air. I'd like to welcome back Frank Cook for your second appearance here, the product owner of Alliance Implementations here at Esker, who's here to talk about Esker's partnership program, what it entails, and how it can help Esker customers. So, Frank, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, Scott. Glad to be here.
Well, we've mentioned partners before on this program, partners like Corpay and LSQ. Can you tell us a little bit more about the partnership program here at Esker?
Sure, absolutely. So the partnership program that I'm involved in is more for the partners that are implementing Esker or that are helping our customers on their Esker implementation journey. So when we're looking at that, we're looking at partners who are ERP experts, for instance, and working with our customers on the integration side of things, or that can do the Esker implementation for our AP products or our order management products, et cetera, as well.
And then thinking about those partners that I mentioned before, they're both very different partners that do different things for Esker customers. So, what are the different types of partners that Esker works with? Do they all have the same things to offer?
Yeah, absolutely. We have different partners across kind of all walks of implementation, if you will. We do have partners that, again, just focus on the ERP side of things, and they are just our integration partners. So the first type of partner would be that integration partner that our customers can reach out to, or Esker can reach out to on behalf of our customers to say they need a little help with the integration side of things. They need help getting information out of their ERP or installing one of the Esker connectors for their ERP, et cetera. But they're mainly kind of isolated or work just around the ERP integration side of things. Then we have partners that are referral partners, just like we have, different companies offer a referral bonus. Hey, refer a friend and get $50 off your next service or something like that. Esker has those partners as well. So we have partners that are out there in the financial world or fintech, if you will, the financial technology sector that say, we know Esker has a great product for this. You should reach out to them and talk to them. And then continuing down kind of that involvement spectrum, we have partners that can do everything. So we have partners that don't just limit themselves to the ERP side of things, but also can implement the Esker side as well as help with that ERP side as well.
Yeah, and thinking about how maybe we get the ball rolling initially, how we bring a partner into the fold. Let's say if we hear a salesperson say, we can hook you up with a partner. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah. So what that means is we have gone through and we've qualified what help that customer needs. So do they need that integration help? Do they need the project to start sooner than what Esker can? Is it a price point adjustment? What type of things is the customer looking for from a partner? And we've gone through and we said, okay, out of all the partners we have, this is one that's going to help you achieve your goals the best. They're going to be able to provide the best services. Sometimes it's just a time zone issue. We're looking at a rollout in the EU and they want someone on their time zone. Well, we're going to hook you up with a partner. We're going to get the customer, Esker, and the partner on the phone and say, this is what we're looking to do. This is how the relationship would work between the customer, Esker, and the partner. This is the benefits of working with the partner. They're on the same time zone. They're closer to your office. They're already familiar with your business, etc. But basically, hooking up with a partner just says, we're going to bring a partner on board. We're going to introduce them to you and make sure that everybody knows who's doing what and what the expectations around that are.
And building on that, what value can a partner bring to a customer who is implementing Esker?
Partners bring a kind of portfolio of benefits and value to customers. A lot of our partners have been around the block. They've been in the fintech sector for a number of years. They've seen the digital business transformation. They're up to date on different regulations for different parts of the world, and what needs to be done for compliance and what processes look like there and what best practices look like. Really, they can be experts in the field when it comes to accounting or that digital transformation for our customers. So they bring a lot of extra knowledge aside from just the Esker solution. They bring in some of that real world best practices and examples to the implementation.
And if we're talking with someone talking about bringing in a partner, what would you say to people who worry that adding a partner is just like adding another cook in the kitchen? Like, isn't the idea to have less programs or software and automation?
That is the goal, right? And in automation, you want to have as few touches as possible. You want to have kind of as hands off an experience as possible. Now, bringing a partner into the implementation isn't necessarily bringing another decision maker in. It's really bringing in another perspective. Sometimes the goal isn't to be bringing in a partner in addition to the Asker implementation team. Sometimes it's we're going to work with the partner instead of the Esker implementation team. Again, time zone is one of those main things that we see, or speed of implementation, different methodologies of implementation. So it's not necessarily bringing in another cook into the kitchen per se. It's bringing in or adding resources to make sure that the business gets the best solution in the timeliest manner that we can deliver.
Yeah, and we like to think here at Esker, we're kind of known for our quality implementation. So, why is it that we bring in partners, and how do partners affect that implementation?
It's a great question. So, and Esker does have quality implementations, and Esker knows Esker very well. One thing that, Esker just doesn't have the ability to do is to have individual shops for each ERP and be experts in every ERP as well as in Esker. So that's what our partners are able to bring to the table. We're working with partners that are very large in size that have dedicated teams for those ERPs. They're also able to offer kind of what I call a turnkey implementation or one-stop shop for implementation. A lot of times we talk to customers and they say, oh, we'll have to schedule that with our IT resources. It might be 3 months, it might be 6 months. We can schedule it here. We might have a half a resource for a couple weeks. Where when we bring in a partner, a lot of times they're able to do the project from both sides. So they can do the Esker implementation and they can do the ERP side of the implementation all at the same time.
And so, what I'm hearing is that we bring in a partner for a very specific task. Can you think of any like real life success stories that you can speak to?
So we have partner that's working with a global company through Europe, and they're implementing about 19 different countries. Working with that partner is good for them because with those 19 countries, they're also bringing on 8 different ERP systems that have different requirements for the implementation. They have different requirements for how things are transmitted. There's different compliance things with the different countries. The partner is in the EU. They have offices in those different countries. So they're able to say, we know what the requirements are right at the beginning. So we're able to kind of bake that in right away. We don't have to talk to business users and have the time of going back and forth with the process analysis and kind of the conversations there around design, but they're able to say this is a known quantity. We know the ERP, we know the requirements, we know the country, we know what needs to be done in the ERP to meet those requirements in that country, and they're on the same time zone. So it's a win-win for everybody involved because there are fewer conversations that have to happen. Took the implementation down from about a 2 year implementation to about a 9 month implementation. Right now, they're rolling on additional countries at the rate of about 3 per 2 months. So, I mean, they're really kind of cranking through the project and getting this customer live very quickly. We have another customer that and partner success story where again we're looking at a global rollout, and the company that we're working with already had a pre-existing relationship with the partner. So the partner knew their ERP infrastructure. They had again offices in the time zones. They had a lot of that background knowledge. They already had access to their system. So they were able to get that system stood up, and Esker stood up with their ERP very quickly. Very quickly. We're talking 6, 8 weeks.
Yeah, and I'd say we've spent a lot of time talking about the very technical implementation process for good reason. But outside of that, what other value do you see partners bringing to the project?
A lot of partners have additional services that they can offer customers aside from just the technical implementation. So far, and in a lot of customer kind of projects, we focus on getting Esker stood up, getting it integrated with the ERP, and worried about the technical project. Our partners are doing additional services with their customers. They're doing things like process analysis where they are talking to the customer and saying, let's design your future state AP process and make sure that we have those all covered in your new process. They're also going to look at that process and say, this is not a great step to have, or you don't need this step, or why are we doing that step? And at the end, they want to have kind of the fewest touches and the most optimized process that they can. That's a service that some of our partners offer. Change management specific services are something that our partners are able to offer aside from the technical project. So I know we've talked about change management and why it's so important at length before, but it's something that really takes time and resources to make happen. So there are more kind of ancillary things that they offer aside from just a technical project to make sure that at the end of the day the customer is getting a quality Esker implementation.
And then thinking about any potential partner listening in here, what does the partner journey look like when working with Esker? What is required of a company to be a partner of Esker?
Sure. So when we onboard a partner for Esker, they go through the same training that our own development consultants and architects go through. So again, assuming that they want to be kind of that full reseller tier. So they want to be able to implement Esker, sell Esker, implement, deliver that solution to their customers. They would have access to the same training and documentation that our internal resources have. They go through the training process. It's handled and delivered by our Esker training team. And then there is also a certification process that they would complete that just make sure that they have that baseline knowledge so they understand how the system works. They understand how to customize the system. They understand kind of what our consulting process looks like. As far as what's required of a partner, basic knowledge of kind of SaaS solutions and how the financial technology world is working. We don't require specific technical abilities. Really, we want them to be able to talk to the customers and understand their business case and be able to provide best practices and consult with them about how we can make Esker work for them and get them the best solution.
Got it. Well, so we've given a lot of information out today to the listeners. Let's close it out by simplifying it. So if you could give your brief elevator pitch, just summarize what it's like working with a partner within Esker, what would that be?
Working with a partner in Esker is like working with Esker themselves. So partners are certified by Esker, they're trained by Esker, and they have an Esker team that is dedicated to supporting them and making sure that the implementations are the same as if Esker was doing the implementation themselves.
Well, great. Frank, thanks again for coming on the podcast. If you have any questions or are interested in learning more about Esker's partnership program, you can find a link in the show notes. And as always, if you're interested in learning more about Esker, you can find us at esker.com. Thanks for tuning in today, and we'll talk to you next time.